A very good evening. My name is Brian Banda with this week's edition of Times Exclusive here on Times Television. The program is coming to you tonight under the auspices of Rainbow Paints.
Wow, I think Cape Beach looks amazing in the door.
The electric blue calls it for me.
Come on, look at the tango, candy pink, burnt orange, ochre sweet lime.
Do you like what you see? You can dream it and live it. Download your Rainbow app today and begin the magic of transforming your home into a fabulous space. Rainbow Paints. Peace of mind. Part of the deal.
My guest tonight is the Honorable Minister of Water and Sanitation, the Honorable Abida Mia, who is also Member of Parliament for Chikwawa Nkombezi. Tikutero kuti tikulandireni kulikonse kumene mukuti onera madzulo ano. Ndine Brian Banda, ndipo tabweranso ndi program ya Times Exclusive. Mulendo wanga madzulo ano ndi olemekezeka mai Abida Mia MP, nduna yathu ya Water and Sanitation, komanso phungu wa nyumba ya malamulo wa Chikwawa Nkombezi. As I said, the program is coming to you courtesy of Rainbow Paints. Honorable Mia, thank you very much. We are profoundly honored tonight to have you. This is your major interview for many years.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you for having me on your program. This is actually the first interview I've actually given to, someone to actually know everything about me. Usually it's just about government business. I like to stick strictly to government business.
We'll talk about government, but we'll also talk about you as a person. But who is Abida Mia?
Abida Mia is from Chikwawa in Gabo. I was married to the late Honorable Mohammed Siddiq Mia, former minister, MP of also Chikwawa Nkombezi. We have 3 beautiful children, 2 girls and 1 boy. So that's, in a nutshell, that's basically who I am.
We have known you, Minister, as a hardworking, serious business person. You have been in business with your husband when he was alive. May his soul continue resting in peace.
Amen.
But what motivated you to go into business?
Well, actually, going into business was when I was living in Gabu. I looked at what I could do because the company that I could work for was a company like Ilovo Sugar.
Yeah.
And my husband at that time had said, no, I think it's better for you to do something on your own. So I said, okay, maybe we should open up a small wholesale, of which he did, opened a small wholesale up for me. From that business, I started looking for loans. He was already running a business with his father.
Okay.
They had a cattle ranch in Gabo, Walitsa Farms.
Yeah.
And they also used to have trucks. So
as a family, or
as a family,
this was
the Mia
before.
family.
This was before you got married to the late Mia.
Yes.
Okay.
This was before I got married to the late Mia.
Okay.
They had their farm, Walitsa Farm. So when I got married, Siddiq, opened for me a wholesale, and then while I was working in the wholesale, I also, started my own side business. I started, I went to the financiers, Malawi Rural Finance. I think it was Collins Majawa at that time. And I said, I'm looking for a loan. He says, how much? I think it was 1.5 million kwacha at that time. So I think it was 1993 around there.
Okay.
And we started buying, like when their trucks would come back,
Yeah.
you know, my husband's trucks and his father would come back from Blantyre empty. I would load them with other things like
So this was your
my
personal
business now. So I first started buying zitenje and they call them Zambias, and you know, the 25 liters of cooking oil. They used to call it mafuta bora then.
Okay.
And I would get up in the morning, maybe around 5, 6, mix it with kazinga, sell it in all the markets.
You're
around
doing
the
it or?
personally with myself, getting up at that time.
Okay.
Yes. So because the people trusted me so much in town, because I was becoming a big buyer, they would now give me they would load the truck for me on credit.
Okay.
Because from that money that I was using from the loan, I was buying cash. So because of trust, we built a relationship with the shops in Limbi. They started giving me, I would go with the cattle transporter and ask them for a whole load of zitenje and the other items, cooking oil, kaunjika. I would take it down and then separate my kaunjika, send into the markets, because we have cotton markets there. We have so much produce in Lower Shiri. So I would send them to Chikwawa, right up to Nsanje, send different members of staff. In the evening, they'll collect the money and bring it back to me. From there, I started getting orders from people like Dave Moyer, Sekani Nyasulu, from Ilovo Sugar. I used to supply them needle, surf, gumboots, the uniforms as well. So I would go across the border. I would go with my little baby Sauda. They even used to call her baby Nido. You know, used to tease her. Everyone, you know, in the family used to, baby Nido, because I used to go cross border in the truck and with my little baby and load the truck with all these goods.
The Abida Mia I'm talking to,
Me,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, I used to go in the trucks on the bed. You know, they have a bed at the back of the trucks.
Yeah.
So maybe one of my brother would be driving or somebody. We'd go across the border, get the goods, and then come and now supply or the companies Ilovo Sugar, huge orders. They had about 7,000 workers at that time at the cane factory. So you must know every packet of surf for every single worker, it was me supplying.
I see.
Yes?
Yeah.
Every tin of needle that the management was drinking, it was me supplying.
I see.
Yeah, gumboots, uniforms, it was me supplying.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was huge, you know, turnovers that we were doing, and Ilovo was still very efficient in their payments to me. So I went back and forth, and then during that time as well, I just decided that I wanted to do salt. You know, because we were buying salt from Mozambique, coming, and it was that mixed salt, you know, it was a bit dirty. So I said, I think I should go to Botswana Ash.
Okay.
So I caught the bus, the luxury coach, stagecoach. It was a luxury coach.
Okay.
Then I even became very close to the driver. We were friends, you know. Went on the stagecoach when I got to Zimbabwe. Then went to
and this
Botswana.
is you had already been married to the
married, yes.
Okay.
Married with kids as well. I had 2 daughters.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
With the same little baby Nido, I used to go. And the other girl, I would leave her maybe with family. The elder one, I'd take the little baby, go with her. And her name is Sauda. I would go to Botswana Ash and load. I had, my brother-in-law's trucks. And my cousin also had 18 trucks. So he would load trucks from Botswana Ash, bring them to Malawi. So I also now, in that, I was using their money, it's called OPM, other people's money, to turn over. So when I go with a bank draft from the banks here, because that time we're paying by bank draft. So I would go with a bank draft to Botswana, pay them. They would load because that time there was no railway side in Zimbabwe. We'd load the trucks direct from Botswana Ash, straight through to Malawi. So I would tell the transporters that I'll pay you in a month, and I would use that money again to spend. So I'd maybe spend it 1.5 times or maybe 2 times in that month. Because once I deliver, everybody was, really wanting that salt because it was high quality, iodized salt that we needed here in Malawi and very clean. So I would load and sell to them. They would pay me. Same thing, up and down, up and down, up and down with the same. From that capital, from the turnovers of all this business, the owner, the managing director of Botswana Ash, Joseph Zibanda, came to Malawi at one time and said, we're looking for a distributor of Bots ash salt in Malawi. And all the big businessmen, all the Priceworths, Right Price, they're all there in here. Some people from Lilongwe. We met at Riles with, he flew in his private jet. And because he saw me as a very hardworking person, even though I was smaller than all of them at that time, in terms of my capacity and my business. But because I was a woman in business, and the fact that I was so hardworking, going all the way, coming back, there was even trains from Zim, So at the end of the day, he gave the contract to me. And everybody was quite sad, but they started buying from me. And I continued with that. From there, I became a sugar distributor for Ilovo, a Unilever distributor. That was from the same wholesale, of course. Thereafter, I said to Siddiq, from my personal business, I have so much, in terms of the capital has grown, it's grown so much. I think it was about 14 million kwacha at that time. So I said, and he was also saying, I'm not happy about you traveling up and down, going up and down. I want you to settle, also for the kids and all that. So I said, I really don't mind, because at the end of the day, we're realizing profits. So he said to me, okay, we discussed as a family, what should we do? And he was with his father in their business. And he's got other brothers.
So Siddiq was doing his business and you were doing your own business.
My own little business, yes. So I sat with him and I said, okay, Siddiq, what do you think? I have this amount, and what do you suggest, we do about that? And he says, okay, I'm thinking maybe I should talk to my dad, because there's a gap in the beef industry. At that time, there was Mr. Isa, Mr. Dasu, and my father-in-law. But there's still a gap. So I think maybe I should talk to my dad, and maybe we can also do the same business. Maybe you can also do the same thing in a small way. So I said, okay. So he went to discuss with his father. After a few days, came back to me and he says, Dad says, my father-in-law is a very good man, very supportive, just like his son, So he came back and he says, of course, there's a gap. So that time they were supplying cold storage then, and there's not enough. So you guys can go into that. So I bought the little farm there. That's why I bought it, it's a small plot. Started buying cattle. And then started looking for bigger loans in town, because I knew that, okay, we're feeding, but we need more money, because feed is costly. Cost of production for you to actually feed those animals, to get them to the, butcheries, and to the abattoir for slaughter. It takes a lot of money, resources, you need quite a bit. So when I approached, at that time it was CBM and First Merchant Bank, Hitesha Natkatanem, Douglas Kamwendo, they were very supportive.
So the impression that I'm getting, Siddiq was doing his own things with his father.
Yes, they had a business.
And you were doing your own business.
Yes.
How important was it for you to do your own things?
I feel that as a woman, it's important for every woman to try and contribute if they can. If they can contribute to their family. Say, for example, you're getting married. Sometimes girls have that impression that I'll just get married. I want to marry a guy that has everything. It doesn't work like that. You have to also be part and parcel for him to grow and to be able to take better steps and larger steps in life. You have to work together for you to achieve your goals.
So you had your own money.
Yes,
and
from
your husband has had
catching
his own.
Buses, catching trucks, going up and down. It came from there, and it's not like I'm talking. Everybody in Blantyre knows.
Because people think you got it easy.
No,
you married one of the richest people in this country, and people don't know this story, that you also worked your own way to get what you to get where you are right now.
I hear you. I've seen some TikToks and all that, and I just say, if they only knew.
You're also on TikTok?
No, not me. I've seen people make up TikToks and say, oh yeah, she inherited. I didn't inherit. I literally worked every single day. I was a girl that my husband even used to laugh at me, that I would get up at 4 a.m. bringing my daughter to school at Phoenix from Ngabu. That time the school fees was 30,000. I would get up at 4 a.m., blow dry my hair, get to Blantyre, at around maybe 6:30, take her straight to school. She was staying with my sister-in-law, Siddiq's sister in Lanta.
Yeah.
Take her straight to school. And he used to always tease me that if anything has to happen to you, I'll just hear those blow dryers going, you know?
Yeah.
Just teasing me,
Yeah.
because that's what I was.
Yeah.
I would always, and then from it's 4, 5, sometimes I would also get up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, that's my time. And even when I was in the shop, I lived with my in-laws in Gabo for 8 years.
Yeah.
Together in one house.
Okay.
With my brother-in-laws, my sister-in-laws, everybody, we lived together.
Okay.
Yeah. With Steek's family, that's how we're so close.
Okay.
Yeah, we have such a big bond, you know.
Yeah.
So
was
from
there a time where you superseded Siddiqu's wealth? Because
No, let me explain.
these stories have been told that probably you are the richest in the Mia family.
No. What actually happened
Yeah.
is Siddiq's family.
Yeah.
He then, because his father had he had 4 brothers.
Yeah.
So he left his the AWS farm, AWS trucking.
Okay.
And we joined together as S&A.
Okay.
So we had started S&A Beef Masters,
Okay.
where Siddiq is a great farmer.
S&A
You know.
meaning what? Siddiq and
Siddiq
Abida?
and Abida.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that farm in Gabo where my house is,
Yeah.
that's where we started.
Okay.
Started very small and grew from there. And because now we had this farm, the cold storage came up for sale.
Okay.
And so we approached Siddiq's dad and said, would you like to join us in the purchase of cold storage? He says, no, you guys carry on. At that time, I think Amai Joyce Banda, there was someone before, and then Amai Joyce Banda was a second preferred bidder,
Yeah.
and we were the third preferred bidder.
Yeah.
So after about a year and a half, that's when they came back to us and said, okay, I think you can go for it. So I started now looking for a loan, you know, and then we discussed with Siddiq, and then we thought, okay, we approached First Capital Bank, Hitesha Natkat, and Bob Kamisa, late Bob Kamisa,
Yeah.
may his soul rest in peace. He also came up with finances for us, so we managed to raise that money to purchase the cold storage.
Okay.
From there,
As Siddiq and Abida.
now
Not
yes,
Abida.
Siddiq
Not
and
Abida only.
Yes.
Not
No,
Abida
not Abida only.
Okay.
Me
Siddiq
and my husband.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when we purchased that, I started now looking for loans, bigger loans. And I managed to get a loan from Nordic SADC region, which I got as a woman.
Okay.
Yeah. And that also, at that time, Siddiq was saying, you better give up on that. It's not going to happen. You know, and I said, no, I'm going to try. So I went to Henry Kachaj. Henry Kachaj helped me with with the applications. And then we had to get one of the guys from Norway. I think it was Mr. Ulrich. He flew down to come and build on that proposal, you know, where there were gaps, to make it, you know, to see exactly what we were doing and to understand the business, see if it was feasible. And from there, that's when they gave us $1.5 million.
And what did you do with that money?
Well, I went to tell Siddiq, I said, guess what? The money's hit my account. And he was like, you're joking. I said, yes, it's in my account. It was like I kept on pushing Edward Muliro and Rosemary Liwayo. They were with Nordic SADC, NOSAD. So when we got that now, Mr. Gafa Isa from Charlo, he brought 6,000 cattle straight away to us, you know. So that's when we started, you know, growing the business. And yeah.
So you have always had your own money apart from Siddiq's?
No, I didn't come with money into the family.
Okay.
No.
But then
we worked, like
okay.
taking credit,
Yeah.
working from there. And Siddiq was the wind beneath my wings. He always supported me.
Okay.
I mean, even if we loaded stuff for me to sell, it was for free.
Okay.
I didn't have to pay.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it was a whole
So you
truckload
got it
of goods.
easy.
No, well, if you think so,
Yeah.
I was supported. I had all the love and support from a very loving husband that believed in gender equality, that advocates for women and women's rights. That's the person that my husband was.
Then how did you find yourself into politics now?
Okay, basically what happened is, you must remember that when we were living across the road from the hospital in Gabo, our house is directly across the road. There were funerals that were happening there, a lot of patients that were sick. So my mother-in-law, Siddiq, his dad, used to always, contribute, this and that to the hospital, assist the people. So I used to go, and that time, I think it was a time of HIV, had just come out, right? So when it came out, I was very touched and, disturbed by the whole disease as it came out. So I used to go and help the people there, like take them food for nutrition. There was all, people like Angeshta and them, they were there. And that time, there were no ARVs. Okay. So people were dying, and it was a very sad situation. So when we used to hear that somebody's sick, we were very affected, and we used to assist UFA and this and that. And obviously, like, for example, when you're traveling, for example, in 2004, when my husband was an MP at that time for UDF, we were traveling back from Blantyre, and we saw some ladies, that had stood around with chitenges. And I said, just stop, I want to see what's going on there. Because I thought maybe somebody collapsed. So I said, just stop, let's see what's going on there. So we stopped, we pulled over. I went to see, and there was a woman delivering. It disturbed me, so we picked her up. We had a pickup. We picked her up. I remember clearly, a maroon pickup. We took her straight to Gabo Rural Hospital, which is directly across the road from us. From that day, I told, he was the first MP to actually buy an ambulance in that time. MPs never used to buy, it was governments, assisting at that time, like they do now. But we were the first MPs. Siddiq was an MP, and he was the first one to buy an ambulance. It was to assist the pregnant women, to make sure that they do not, to reduce the infant mortality rate, and also to assist the women so that they can have transport around the constituency, because the constituency is very big. Yeah. And then as Siddiq was an MP, he was a minister at that time in the UDF government. I think he was Deputy Minister of Agriculture. So he used to go, up and down Lilongwe, Blantyre. So I used to run the constituency, help him with my father-in-law. Okay. When people come, ask for help, we'd assist them. Maybe someone is sick, someone has fallen out of the tree, someone, a borehole has broken down. From that time, the family used to assist. So it was something that came naturally. So when it came to joining politics, I felt like we do help as a family, but it's not at the level that you would want to help. Yeah. In terms of resources. So when the opportunity came for me to be an MP, I said, it's not a problem. I will go into it because I'll be able to tap into donor partners, be able to meet people, and be able to help more people extend whatever we were doing and assist, the constituency at a larger scale than we were actually doing. So I accepted.
Then you have been to all these parties as a family. UDF, DPP as well?
Yes.
And PP?
Yes.
How do you feel
about it?
Yeah.
I think it was just a transition at that time. It was happening for different reasons.
Like
so
what?
The transitions were like at the first time, obviously, there was a period when the actual government was a DPP government. Yes. So we were with His Excellency Professor Bingwa Mutharika. Yeah. So obviously, I knew him from what my husband told me about him, but I've only met him once or twice in person. Yeah. And
so the question is, was it for money or to serve the people?
Service to the communities and to
and
the
you had
people.
to be in all these parties for you to serve?
You must remember that DPP and UDF were one party.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So it was not actually any different. It was like you were still under the same. Okay. As you can see, they were still together even up to recently.
Yeah. So how are you faring? You are now a member of parliament. How are you faring as a member of parliament?
As a member of parliament, I'm doing, I think, extremely well. I've so far done about 20 projects. Well, 5 are in progress right now as we speak. We've got school blocks coming up. We've got a new clinic that's coming up from a JSET project in Matugambia that will service about 15,000 people. And then I'm going to build 2 houses for the staff, the clinicians there, or the doctors that will be brought to that particular clinic. We've also got other, like Terere Health Center, that was the Japanese JICA assisted us with. So we've got a very big clinic there. We've also built houses from the Constituency Development Fund. We've got police posts at the border in Kuninda. That is also to reduce the trafficking, of the girls to Mozambique. Then we also, cattle rustling is really a problem in the Lower Shiri. So we had to put a post there. That money also came from the Constituency Development Fund. In Miso 4, we've also got a police post. Then we've got a lot of under 5 clinics, to uplift the children's lives there so they can get treatment closer and the mothers don't have to walk such long distances to get them weighed and get them treated and get them vaccinated. So we have solar as well at some of these clinics. We've got in Chenga. As I've said, they're too many to mention, but I'm sure soon I'll be able to do like a documentary of all the projects we've done. Then
you got appointed as a minister as soon as you came in as a member of parliament under President Chakwera. Your late husband had also been appointed a minister, and there was a talk in town to say 2 cabinet ministers in one house. How did you feel when people raised those concerns that particular time?
I felt that it was actually the prerogative of the president to do what he felt at that time. So for me, I heard what they were saying, but it did not, affect us too much, because we just felt as long as the president is happy with his decision, I have to also show and perform so that the people know that I'm capable of that position.
Let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation. I'm also interested in knowing what you have been able to achieve as a cabinet minister. You are responsible for water and sanitation. I want to hear your success stories in that ministry, if at all you have any success stories. Shall we take a short break?
Yes.
We'll be back with you in a moment.
Thank you, Brian.
In case you're just joining us, this is Times Exclusive, airing on Times Network. I'm joined by the Honorable Minister of Water and Sanitation, who is also Member of Parliament for Chikwawa Nkombezi. The program tonight is coming to you courtesy of Rainbow Pens. We'll hear from them, and we'll continue our conversation with the Water and Sanitation Minister, Abida Mia.
Wow, I think Cape Beach looks amazing in the door.
The electric blue calls it for me.
Come on, look at the tango, candy pink, burnt orange, okay, sweet lime.
Do you like what you see? You can dream it and live it. Download your Rainbow app today and begin the magic of transforming your home into a fabulous space. Rainbow Paints. Peace of mind. Part of the deal.
You're watching Times Exclusive on Times Network. I'm joined by the Honorable Minister of Water and Sanitation, the Honorable Abida Mia MP for Chikwawa Mkombes. Welcome back to the other half of the program, Minister Mia. What would you consider to be your successes since you became the Water and Sanitation Minister?
Well, thank you, Brian. Firstly, I would like to thank His Excellency, the President, Dr. Lazarus McCarthy Chakwera, for having promoted me to Minister of Water and Sanitation and making it a standalone ministry. The ministry is definitely what the President wanted was for the ministry to get for water, SDG 6, to get the attention it deserves. There's so many projects that we are carrying out in the ministry because we need to achieve full coverage by 2030. So at the moment we have so many projects, like we have the Nkata Bay project, we have Karonga project that's going on, which these are all huge projects. In Karonga you're talking about 105,000 people. We have Northern Region water project, that we and then in the Central Region we have so many. Last week alone I was visiting a few water users associations that is a water supply building in different areas to make sure that the rural masses get piped water schemes, because that's a policy change. The President wants everybody to have piped water by 2030, and which we are rushing to try and achieve. We also have multi-purpose dams right across the country. You've seen we have the Kolongo Dam. We also have the Salima Water Supply Project. That's 300.
That one is happening?
Yes, it's happening.
Okay.
100%. Soon, by maybe next 2 weeks, some of the goods will be arriving in the country from South Africa. We also have the raising. We had the raising of Kamuzu Dam 1 that the President had inaugurated. Then if we come to the Southern Region, we also have the water and sanitation projects. We have the solar-powered 30 megawatt project for us to reduce the cost of production. We have the projects in the lakeshore, in Mangochi. So when we look at all these projects in Kudzi Bay and all that, I can sit with you for maybe 2 hours explaining all the projects that the ministry is doing. There are so many, too numerous to mention. But we are working in all districts across the country, from Northern Region, Chitipa, right to Nsanje, to make sure that...
What about the concern that the water tariffs have gone up and the people are complaining outside there?
Unfortunately, it's just the cost of production that is gone up. You know, in South Africa, all the chemicals, the chlorine, the prices have shot up.
Okay.
The spare parts for us to run those plants, they've all gone up. If you look at it, and you must realize that because of all the situation we had with all these consecutive cyclones and climate change, there's a lot of our systems that were also washed away that had to be replaced. So this is all money that was already used. So we're taking 5 steps forward and another 2 steps back. So with every time we get a cyclone that's causing so much infrastructure damage, it's all costs. And where does that money come from? So our donor partners have been very good, and the President has increased our water budget so much so, and accepted for us to take more in terms of increase whatever projects we need to be done in the water sector. He's accepting. The Minister of Finance is also accepting us to do. So we will definitely be able to achieve our goals by 2030.
Let's talk about the MCP convention. It's coming up in a few weeks, August 8 to 9. And can you just confirm that you're running for the second vice presidency of the party? Is this true?
Yes, that is true. I'm running for the second vice presidency for Malawi Congress Party. For me, it's a way of serving and also growing, helping, grow the party, making sure that we're working straight from grassroots right up. So making sure that we have our areas, branch, going forward. So I would like to look for resources for the party wherever I can and assist the president wherever we can politically.
Why do you want to run?
It's a challenge and I know that I'm ready for it. And I know that I'm capable of assisting the party in that area.
Your late husband was the vice president of the party. Is this in honoring him or not?
He was the first vice president of the party, and he did an excellent job at being the first vice president of the party. But I just felt like I wanted to do it, and I was also
if he was alive, he could have allowed you to do this?
Oh, 100%. Siddiq was very supportive, but if he was there at the moment, I'm sure he would have still been the first vice president of the party.
And you could still want to?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
I would never.
You wouldn't?
Yes.
What are you bringing on the table? What are you offering the Malawi Congress Party if the delegates elect you as the second vice president?
You see, the delegates that are going to the convention, most of them have already worked with me.
Okay.
So as my husband was running for the vice presidency, I used to assist him a lot. So he would, get ready in the morning while he's busy meeting people. I used to prepare everything for him, like get his, people ready in terms of the how many pieces of cloth they would want to distribute and how many people they're meeting, whatever food they needed to be, to be prepared for the delegates or the members that he's meeting, just organizing his meeting.
So they know you.
So I have the knowledge of what the job entails. So it's nothing new to me. So I find it like a breeze. It's easy for me to do because I watched him do it. I worked closely with him. I understand what it entails.
And do you think you're going to win?
As the second vice president of the party? Yes, I feel confident that I will win, but that's up to the voters. We will leave it in their hands. But from the way I've worked with them and the love they have for me, I feel confident that they would definitely vote for me.
There are probably others who will be vying for the same position. Why should delegates vote for you? That's my question.
Why should they vote for me?
Why should they vote for you?
Because I have more to offer in terms of my hard-working spirit, the way I hit the ground running. They've seen how I perform when it gets to getting members together and mobilizing to make sure we move together and achieve our goals as a party. To make sure if we have councillors that need to be assisted in terms of the support on the ground, in terms of or MPs that need support in terms of people like one of the senior members coming to assist them, we are there to assist them and we're there to support the president.
Where do you get the finances to assist the people? You have been supporting and assisting people from way back. Where do you get the money to do what you're doing?
Yes, from business. We still run business. We have I'm doing like sugar and also doing cross-border sugar, from other countries to other countries. We do a lot of exports. So
a lot of people have said that you probably don't need to be in politics. You are a rich family, well-to-do. You probably have enough money to eat the whole of your life. I don't know how much money you have, but do you need to be in politics?
Politics is more about a service to the people, if you think about it. Because when you're as a leader, you're able to make decisions that you cannot otherwise make when you're out of politics. If you're not an MP, you cannot make decisions on that 200 million that Dr. Lazarus Chakwera has increased in in terms of the constituency development fund, you must remember, if that money is not spent wisely and it's just put into maybe one bridge and misused and abused, I'm there to make sure that that money is protected and made and put to good use, so that the constituents benefit, that Mkombezi benefits from that funding. Yes.
So it's you're not in politics to make money.
No. How are you going to make money in politics?
Because we hear that people become rich when they
in politics.
Okay.
Yes,
so have you made money or have you lost money through politics?
I don't. You definitely don't make money in politics. You spend money in politics.
Why do people fight to be in politics?
I think it's
this
more
convention, people are fighting. There should be something that people get in politics.
I think it's more about leadership. Maybe some people like the power that comes with it. Maybe they have enough money, and what they want is just to be in a powerful position, so that they get the recognition that they want. So people are in politics for different reasons.
So what are you in politics for?
As I've already told you, I'm here to serve the people.
But my question is, do you need to be in politics to serve the people?
As I told you, from my resources will be limited of what I can assist the people with. For example, I can approach donor partners to say, I need maize, and they will bring me maize with 100 million. I cannot afford to give 100 million at one time. You can budget maybe 30 million at a time, and you can assist, but you can get much more when you're in politics, because people know that you're here to serve the people, and if they trust you, then they will give you more money.
So you have people that are giving you stuff because you're in politics?
Yes, no, they know that I'm helping the people, so they know that when they give me the funding, I'm directing it. They're not giving me the cash, they're giving me goods for me to assist the people.
But as a person, you are well off.
No, I'm comfortable.
You are comfortable.
I wouldn't say, but I am
a house in Blantyre, house in Chikwawa, house in Mangochi, house in Lilongwe. You're comfortable. You don't need to be in politics.
Yeah. I don't need to be in politics, but I'm enjoying being in politics. And I'm happy to be of service to the people. And I think if I said that I'm going to leave politics, I think I would disappoint my constituents. They would be very hurt. In fact, I think they would literally not talk to me, just abandon them. They need me. They definitely need me. I'm protecting them in terms of the funding and everything that comes. You must know that I'm fighting for JSID funds to make sure that we build more, build better, because they've never seen projects like we have now in the constituency. So it's all different, and they appreciate that, because even if you talk about like water and stuff like that, I used to do that even before. I would ask different donors to come in and drill boreholes,
So would you say, as a family, and I want you to be honest with me, would you say that you are better off today than you were 10 years ago?
Brian, businesses everywhere in the world, I would say that I'm very comfortable. I was comfortable then, and I'm comfortable now.
So politics, has it helped you, or it has destroyed you?
Brian, that's...
Financially.
That's a very funny question.
It's not a funny question. It's a serious question. It's a serious question, Minister.
When you're in politics, you spend what you want to spend. You don't have to spend, and you don't have to go overboard. If you go overboard, it's what you choose to do. So you have to make those decisions for yourself. That you have a budget, and this is what I can manage. Thereafter, I cut, and then I'll spend so much in this month and next month. It's like that, you have to strike a balance.
Why should people vote for Malawi Congress Party come September 2025?
Well, you've seen the president has managed to bring in a lot of donor support. He's got all the donors back on board. We've managed to do with regards to electricity. We had blackouts continuously, and even our factories and our businesses were suffering in terms of just development. So when you talk about no electricity, you're talking about a shortage in everything. You're talking about businesses, even small businesses like hairdressers, they're going to shut down. You're talking about big factories that cannot perform because they cannot run. Today you have 24/7 covered in for electricity. Talking about infrastructure, roads, we have so many major roads coming up in the country, across the country. If you talk about hospitals, how many, we can't even count. I wouldn't even be able to tell you how many hospitals are being built right now. You know, if you talk about schools, school blocks in every single constituency. I mean, I was even surprised. I went to Jombo School and I see there's new blocks, and I've discovered that there's actually 16 new blocks that are coming to my constituency. And this is projects that the president is doing for every constituency, most constituencies. So ICT centers where people will be able to access, learn how to use computers in schools. Something that's never happened if you look at the history of Malawi. And access free Wi-Fi. As they go there, within 100 meters, they'll be able to use their phones for free. Where have you ever seen
But
that?
others would choose to differ with you to say things have gone up. The prices of commodities have gone up than they were in 2020 when President Chakwera became president. So much as you're glorifying President Chakwera and the Malawi Congress Party, others who are watching us tonight, they will say our lives have deteriorated than we were 4 years ago.
Okay, Brian, if you look at the climatic shocks that we've experienced since His Excellency, the President, has been in power, have been devastating. Have Malawi ever experienced so many cyclones? Has Malawi ever experienced, yes, El Nino has been there, but not the way it has happened now. Then we have the Ukrainian war. All these add up and they affect. If you cross over, my constituency is on the border with Mozambique. If you compare the price of a Coke and a packet of sugar, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Malawi is on par. If you go over even to Mchinji and cross over into Zambia, Malawi is on par. Our electricity is even cheaper here than other countries. Our water is even cheaper in Malawi than other countries. So obviously people are feeling the pinch because globally everybody has been affected. And that's not a lie. But sometimes it's just information dissemination, letting people understand the situation on the ground. Even if you go to Zimbabwe, things have gone up. If you go and say you want to go into a supermarket, prices are even higher than they are here in Malawi. And you can confirm that with anybody, right? South Africa, things have gone up. So it's just globally you're looking at things. So we have to look at things holistically and understand the situation across the world. Things have changed. You look at Australia, the prices are shocking. You talk about the housing, the rentals, clothing, food. You go to the UK, the prices, everything across the globe has gone up. So we have to be fair when we want to pass judgment and look at also the good things, the development that has happened within the country and where we are in terms of infrastructure that has never happened like it is happening right now.
How do you, I know you were very close because we saw how you interacted between you and your late husband. How do you remember the late husband, Mia, and also how has he impacted your life today?
Well, as I say, Siddiq was definitely my biggest cheerleader. He supported me in everything I did. He was not, you get a lot of men that are actually jealous of the women. A woman is doing better in something. A woman is maybe performing better than, or maybe getting paid more than him, or maybe bringing more money home. My husband was such a fair, loving, understanding man. And I miss him so much because he would spoil me. He would, he literally knew anything. He walk into a shop, I knew that if I buy this for Abida, she's going to appreciate it. So he was a very kind person to everyone, not only to me. So definitely I would say Siddiq is sadly missed.
And feel free if you don't want to answer this question. There was also an issue that came after his passing of a lady called Fatra. Did you know about it, and how have you been able to manage that? Because I know there were so many issues about that lady. How have you managed as a family, and how have you moved on?
Yes, after he passed away, we heard about a child, and obviously, as soon as he passed away, she called the family, but the family handled the matter, and it's something in the past, and Siddiq is not here to discuss these issues.
Yeah.
So I think I never discussed it because I think I respect him as a gentleman that he was, and the kind soul that he was, and I would just like him to rest in peace.
And what about I know you have 2 daughters and 1 son. How are they faring?
Okay, my firstborn obviously had to go for counseling. It affected her so badly because she was actually not here at the time when he passed away. There was the COVID and she couldn't travel, and she was also, I think she just fell pregnant. So it definitely affected her so much. She actually gave birth early, I think at 6 months.
Yeah.
So baby was in hospital for about 3 months. My second born daughter, we were together in terms of, my son and my daughter were here at the time with me, so we were there for each other, we leaned on each other, we had huge family support, so the family was around us all the time. My in-laws, brother-in-laws, everybody was there for them. So for us, especially, who was affected was the one that was so much outside. With the 2 that are here, they still can't get over it. They obviously, hormones have changed in terms of, stress that they've lost their father because of the person that he was. He was a very loving dad to them.
Yeah.
So, I would say they have now trying to manage it, but it hasn't been easy for them.
Do you, with due respect, Minister Mia, do you plan to get married again?
Brian, everything is God's plan, and I'll be honest with you right now, I'm concentrating on my children and their futures and what they need to do and how I need to move with them. Right now my daughter has opened a restaurant, so she needs all the love and support that I need to give her and guidance, and my son would also want to do his own business, so I'm concentrating on that right now.
But is there a possibility that you fall in love again?
I don't know. Only God knows, isn't it?
Only God knows.
He's the greatest of planners, and He knows what my future holds. But right now, as I said, I'm busy with my kids and just giving them the support because they're still grieving.
Yeah.
So they need me right now.
Yeah, there are so many women that have lost their loved ones just like you. What would be your words of encouragement to them? Because others are finding it difficult to move on. What would you advise them?
When you lose a loved one that's so close to you, it's the emotional, the stress that you go through firstly, and the loss that you feel. It's a huge loss. It's shocking, and it's something that's very hard to deal with. There's that stage, and then after that there's the accepting, and then obviously there's also the financial loss, whereby you used to pull together, where you bring 50% and you bring 50%, and you meet each other halfway, and you'd work it together. But at that time you become both the mother and the father. So if it's a widow or widower, it's the same thing, where people are pulling together to make ends meet and to move forward and to be productive, to be able to look after their kids and be able also, emotionally to guide your children through life. Now it's you stand alone.
What would be your concluding remarks as we finish this discussion tonight?
Okay, firstly, obviously, to tell the widows to be strong, carry on, move forward. Of course, grieve, because it's important to grieve. My concluding remarks tonight would be to say to my constituency that I have, managed my manifesto, what I promised them. I've done more. I've gone above and beyond. But I'll promise to continue to develop my constituency to the best of my ability, and to the country, the nation as a whole, to thank you for the support that you have shown me during my loss and after. The support you always show me. I am humbled and I thank you all. It's sometimes I actually get emotional to say, wow, people care so much. They like you as a person, and the support they show you, it's overwhelming. And just want to say thank you, and obviously to promise that I will deliver on the in the ministry, to thank His Excellency for giving me this huge task to deliver SDG 6 to the people of Malawi.
Madam Abida Mia, our Minister of Water and Sanitation, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, on that note, we conclude this week's edition of Times Exclusive here on Times Television. I was privileged to be joined by the Minister of Water and Sanitation, the Honorable Abida Mia, who is also MP for Chikwawa Mkombezi. My name is Brian Banda, from all of us here at the Mia's residence in Namiwawa. Thanking you for joining us tonight, and goodbye.